Okay, have you ever, like, walked into a room and just completely blanked on why you went in there?
Oh, all the time. Or you meet someone new and their name just poof, vanishes like 2 seconds later.
Exactly. That feeling of brain fog, maybe feeling a bit unfocused, or sometimes I feel kind of stuck in my thinking.
Yeah, we've all been there. And look, if you've ever wondered why that happens, and maybe more importantly, if there's anything you can actually do about it, well, you're definitely in the right place for this deep dive.
Yeah, this is going to be good. Today we're really digging into this idea of keeping your brain young.
Right. And just to be clear, we don't mean, acting like a 5-year-old.
Uh-huh. No, definitely not that.
No. It's about nurturing a mind that stays, well, sharp, focused, and really flexible, no matter how many candles are on the cake, making sure that vital organ keeps performing its best.
Because honestly, your brain, it controls, well, everything, doesn't it?
Mm.
Your thoughts, memories, how you learn stuff, decisions, even your mood.
Absolutely everything. When it's
Mhm.
working well, you feel more creative, you make decisions better, feel more confident.
But when it slows down,
Yeah,
yeah, that fog creeps in. You just feel less switched on.
exactly. So to get how to keep it switched on, maybe we can touch on a couple of key ideas.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, first, cognitive. That's just anything to do with thinking, learning, memory. Simple enough.
Right. Thinking stuff. Got it.
And second, this one's really exciting, neuroplasticity. Sounds a bit fancy, maybe.
A little bit, yeah.
But it's basically your brain's superpower. It's this incredible ability it has to change, to adapt, even grow new connections all through your life. It's not fixed like plastic. It can actually be reshaped.
Okay, so that's huge
Yeah.
because I think a lot of us, grew up thinking after a certain age, just downhill for the brain.
That was the old thinking, absolutely.
So what's the science saying now? Is it really possible to, like, protect and strengthen our brains even as we get older?
Yes, absolutely. That old belief, it's really being challenged by some amazing research. Studies are showing that brains that stay active are significantly less likely to suffer from things like dementia or Alzheimer's.
Wow.
It's a massive shift. It gives you back some control. Science now really believes aging doesn't have to mean mental decline. You can actively do things.
That is incredibly hopeful.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
But, okay, even with this amazing capacity for growth, sometimes it feels like, well, modern life is working against us.
How do you mean?
Like, GPS tells us where to go. We scroll endlessly on social media, use emojis instead of thinking about words.
Yeah.
Is all that autopilot stuff bad?
It definitely makes life easier in the moment, sure. But it doesn't challenge the brain much, does it? Your brain loves novelty. It thrives on a bit of effort.
Ah,
So if you don't give it interesting problems or new things to chew on, it kind of gets complacent. Like a muscle you never exercise. It just weakens.
okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So let's use a metaphor then. Like, imagine your brain is a garden.
Oh, I like that. A garden.
Yeah. If you neglect it, don't water it, don't pull the weeds, don't plant anything new, it's going to wither.
Right. It'll get overgrown and sad.
But if you tend to it, nurture it regularly, it can absolutely be full of life. So our mission today is learning how to tend your mental garden.
And for you listening, especially if you're actively studying English, this is super relevant. You're already gardening, planting new words, watering with grammar, cultivating conversations.
So true. Okay, are you ready to dig in? Let's unpack what's really going on inside that garden.
Let's do it. And maybe start by tackling some common fears about the aging brain. Because, yes, some changes are normal, just like skin wrinkles or muscles get a bit weaker. That happens.
Okay.
But the key is knowing which changes are just normal aging versus actual decline. And really importantly, how much control you actually have over it.
So what does change as we age, typically? And are there any surprises in there?
Well, processing speed can slow down a bit. Might take a fraction longer to pull up a name or figure out a problem.
Okay, a bit slower,
Yeah.
but not necessarily less smart.
Exactly. It's not a loss of intelligence, just maybe a slight delay in fetching the info. And interestingly, multitasking gets harder, which is kind of funny because research shows true multitasking isn't really effective for anyone, young or old.
Yeah. Maybe older brains are just more honest about it.
Maybe so. But here's where it gets really interesting. What actually gets better? We focus so much on decline.
Yeah. What improves?
Well, often things like vocabulary and language skills, they become richer, more nuanced. It's why older adults can be such amazing storytellers.
Ah, that makes sense.
And emotional intelligence, understanding and managing emotions, yours and others, that often increases. And maybe the most powerful one, crystallized intelligence.
Crystallized?
Yeah.
What's that exactly?
It's basically problem solving based on your lifetime of experience and wisdom. It's not book smarts you cram for, it's deep knowledge that comes from living and learning over decades. And that stays strong or can even grow.
Wow. So the aha moment there is
Yeah.
a younger brain might be faster, maybe, but an older brain can actually be smarter in really meaningful ways, drawing on all that experience.
Precisely. It's not just a simple trade-off, which leads us right to that saying, use it or lose it. How literal is that?
Yeah. Is it really that stark?
It's pretty literal, actually. Think about a path in a forest. If people walk it daily, it stays clear, easy to follow.
Right.
But if nobody uses it, it gets overgrown, hard to even see. Your neural pathways, those connections in your brain, they're kind of like that.
So every time I practice English or do a puzzle,
You're walking those mental paths, you're keeping them strong and clear. Learning about these changes, it helps take away the fear, right? It
Yeah.
empowers you to actually do something.
yeah, it really does. It's about being intentional. Okay, so if the brain is like a muscle, what kind of workouts does it need? What's mental fitness?
Well, just like your biceps need curls, your brain needs its own exercises. Mental fitness covers things like focus, memory, problem solving, creativity, even handling your emotions. We focus so much on physical health, but this mental exercise often gets forgotten.
Totally. So a brain workout doesn't have to be like hours of study, right?
Yeah.
Where's a good place to start?
One of the best things, learn something new, anything new. Like tackling a tricky English grammar rule, picking up an instrument, figuring out a new app on your phone. When you do that, your brain has to forge new pathways. It literally rewires itself. That's neural stimulation. It keeps your brain flexible, adaptable. It's not just about knowing more, it's building new brain highways.
Building highways. I like that. But focus. In today's world with all the distractions, my attention span feels like it's shrinking.
You're not alone. A great practice is single tasking, seriously. Set a timer for, say, 15 minutes. Work on one thing, no checking your phone, no email.
Just 15 minutes.
Start there. It really strengthens that focus muscle. Or play brain games, crosswords, Sudoku, memory games, even just learning new English words actively. Think of them as like small dumbbells for your mind.
Dumbbells for the mind.
Okay, what else?
Reading and reflecting. Don't just skim. Ask yourself, what did I really get from that? Do I agree? What new words popped out? That active processing is key.
Okay, active reading. Makes sense.
And here's a weird one, but it works. Try using your opposite hand for simple things.
My opposite hand? Like what?
Brush your teeth with it.
Yeah.
Stir your coffee. Maybe even try writing a word or two. It feels super awkward.
Oh, yeah, I tried the teeth brushing thing this morning. Felt totally clumsy.
Exactly. That awkwardness, that's your brain being forced off autopilot.
Yeah.
It has to pay attention, build new connections. It's a fantastic, simple trick.
Wow, okay, so maybe build a little routine, like a gym schedule for the brain. Precisely. Doesn't have to be huge. Monday, learn 5 new English words, use them. Tuesday, a quick logic puzzle. Thursday, maybe a walk where you just think about one big idea. Saturday, try having a conversation in English. Consistency is way more important than doing something massive once a month.
Right. Small steps. Often.
And this brings us back again, learning a language like English. It's arguably the ultimate brain training.
How so?
Think about it. Listening, speaking, reading, writing, you're hitting so many different brain areas at once. It massively boosts what's called cognitive flexibility, your ability to switch between concepts, think in different ways.
Ah, flexibility.
Yeah, and that's why bilingual people often show better memory, sharper decision-making, even more protection against age-related brain stuff. So every single English lesson.
Yeah.
That's a serious power workout for your brain.
That's really motivating. Okay, so we've exercised the brain. Now let's talk fuel. Like a high-performance car needs the right gas.
Exactly. Your brain absolutely needs the right nutrition, and it's often overlooked, isn't it?
Yeah, why is that?
I think many people just don't realize food isn't just, calories for your body. It's literally information for your brain. What you eat directly hits your focus, your memory, even your mood.
Information. Okay.
And get this, your brain is tiny, like 2% of your body weight, but it hogs about 20% of your daily energy. It's a hungry organ.
20% what?
Yeah. So when you eat well, you're giving it the building blocks it needs to grow new cells, keep old ones healthy, eat junk. Your brain gets foggy, slows down, ages faster. Simple as that.
Okay, I'm convinced. Give us the good stuff. What are the top brain-boosting foods?
Top of the list, fatty fish. Think salmon, sardines. They're packed with omega-3 fatty acids. Super important for healthy brain cell walls, good communication between cells.
Omega-3s. Got it. What else?
Blueberries. Tiny powerhouses full of antioxidants that protect your brain from stress and aging. Leafy greens, spinach, kale, great for vitamin K, folate, linked to better memory.
Green greens, okay.
Nuts and seeds, too. Walnuts are fantastic. Pumpkin seeds, they give you zinc, magnesium, vitamin E, all vital for clear thinking. And don't forget whole grains, brown rice, oats. They provide steady energy, avoiding those awful sugar spikes and crashes that make your brain feel fuzzy.
Right, the sugar crash.
Yeah.
Awful. So on the flip side, what should we be limiting?
Definitely sugary stuff and highly processed foods. They cause inflammation, and that's really bad news for brain health over time. It causes damage.
Inflammation. Yeah.
And excess alcohol isn't great either. It can actually shrink brain volume.
Yeah.
And one people always forget, hydration.
Water.
Yes. Your brain is about 75% water. Even being just a little dehydrated tanks your focus and mood. So keep sipping water throughout the day. Way better than sugary drinks or too much coffee.
Good reminder. And what about this gut-brain connection I keep hearing about? Sounds kind of weird.
It sounds weird, but it's fascinating. Scientists call it the gut-brain axis. Basically, there's a constant two-way chat happening between your digestive system and your brain. Yeah. A healthy gut full of good bacteria actually helps produce neurotransmitters like serotonin, which massively impacts your mood and thinking. So that gut feeling, it's real.
Wow. So things like yogurt.
Exactly. Probiotics in yogurt, kefir, they can support that connection. Look, the principles are simple. Eat real, whole foods. Get lots of color on your plate. Limit the sugar and processed stuff. Stay hydrated. These aren't complicated, but they're powerful tools for mental energy and keeping that brain young.
Okay, so we've got exercise, we've got fuel. What else? Let's talk about correlate. Curiosity. Some people just seem so energized, always learning, no matter their age.
That's so true, isn't it? And it's absolutely key. Lifelong learning isn't just about signing up for classes, though that's great too. It's more a mindset.
Yeah.
Looking at the world with fresh eyes.
Fresh eyes.
Yeah. And it's one of the very best ways to keep your brain young. Curiosity, that strong itch to learn or know something, it keeps the brain active, engaged, open to change. Think about kids. They're masters of why. Why?
It drives you crazy sometimes.
But we often lose that as adults. We settle into knowing what we know.
So what actually happens in the brain when we are curious? Does it light up?
It literally does. Brain scans show it lights up with activity, it forms new pathways, and here's the cool part. It releases dopamine.
Dopamine, the
Yeah.
pleasure chemical.
Exactly, the reward chemical.
Yeah.
So learning doesn't just make you smarter, it actually feels good. which naturally makes you want to learn more. It's a great cycle.
That explains why figuring something out feels so satisfying.
Yeah.
Okay, so how do we, nurture this? What are some small steps?
Doesn't take much. Ask questions. See a new English word. Don't just skip it, look it up. Watch a documentary on something totally new. Listen to a podcast outside your usual zone.
Branch out a bit.
Yeah, read regularly, even 10 minutes counts. And just try new things, a new recipe, a different route home. Break that routine. Talk to people, especially practicing your English. Every conversation is a mini adventure for your brain. Stretching that English comfort zone, that turns language learning into exploration, boosting memory and attention.
Okay, curiosity check. Now let's explore something maybe unexpected. Moving your body to sharpen your mind. Most people think exercise equals body health. Right. But it's honestly one of the most powerful tools we have for brain health, too, for keeping it young and vibrant.
More powerful than puzzles.
Arguably, yes, for certain aspects. The mind-body connection is just undeniable. When you move, even a short walk, it sends signals that wake up your brain, improve focus, boost creativity.
But how?
Well, get this. Scientists have shown regular physical activity can actually increase the size of the hippocampus. Increase the size? Really? What's the hippocampus again?
It's the part of your brain crucial for memory and learning. So exercise isn't just maintaining your brain, it can actually lead to brain growth. It's pretty amazing.
That is astounding. Actual growth. What else does movement do for the brain?
Oh, lots. It boosts oxygen and blood flow, like watering a plant, nourishing those brain cells. It releases those feel-good chemicals, dopamine, serotonin, endorphins. Makes you feel happier, more focused.
The runner's high stuff.
Kind of, yeah. It also lowers stress hormones like cortisol, which can be damaging over time, and it massively improves sleep quality, which, as we'll see, is crucial brain time.
Okay, so you don't need to run a marathon then. What kind of movement?
Consistency is way more important than intensity. A brisk 20-30-minute walk most days is fantastic. Dancing, yoga, gardening, even vigorous cleaning counts.
Cleaning counts. Excellent.
Totally. And try embodied learning, combine movement and learning. Walk while listening to this deep dive or an English lesson. Use gestures when you practice vocabulary. It creates stronger memory traces because you're engaging body and mind.
Embodied learning. Interesting.
And please, take brain breaks. Sitting for hours on end is terrible for blood flow. Just stand up, stretch, walk around for 2-3 minutes every hour. It really refreshes your focus.
Okay, move more, sit less. Got it. Finally, let's talk social brilliance. Connection. Why is that so vital?
Because we're fundamentally social creatures. Relationships aren't just, nice extras for emotional health. They are absolutely vital for brain health. Staying connected is one of the best protectors against cognitive decline.
And so just chatting with someone is a brain workout. How?
Think about it. A good conversation is a full brain workout. You're using language centers, accessing memories, reading emotions, showing empathy, making quick decisions on what to say next.
Wow. Yeah, when you break it down.
Exactly. It lights up so many areas, and the benefits are huge. Better memory and focus, faster thinking speed, and really strong emotional protection because good relationships lower that stress hormone, cortisol.
Lower stress. That's big.
Huge. And studies consistently show socially connected people tend to live longer and have significantly less cognitive decline as they age.
That's powerful. So the opposite, isolation. It's more than just feeling lonely.
It really is. We need to differentiate healthy alone time, which is fine, from chronic loneliness or isolation, which is a lack of meaningful connection. That feeling of being cut off can actually lead to physical changes in the brain, increasing the risk of memory loss.
Okay, so practically, what can we do?
Make connection a priority. Aim for daily conversations, even brief 10-minute ones. Join a group, a club, maybe an English conversation class. Volunteer. And here's a skill. Practice really listening to people. It builds empathy, strengthens bonds.
Good point. Listening is key.
And every time you have a conversation in English, Even if you stumble over words, remember that's a potent brain exercise. You're building vocabulary, strengthening memory retrieval, boosting confidence. It's all good stuff.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of the active stuff. Now let's talk about two slightly different heroes, drinking routines and sleep.
Yes, unsung heroes, definitely. Let's start with routine. Your brain loves habits, right? They save energy. You don't have to think about brushing your teeth.
True. Autopilot is easy.
But too much autopilot makes the brain, well, lazy. To keep it young and sharp, you need to sprinkle in novelty. New experiences, new challenges, new environments. When your brain hits something unfamiliar, it has to wake up, pay attention, figure things out. It has to grow.
Like waking up a sleepy muscle.
Exactly, like deciding to lift a slightly heavier weight. Novelty forces the brain to work harder, build new neural connections. This boosts that cognitive flexibility we talked about, adapting your thinking, finding creative solutions.
And it releases dopamine again, right? The curiosity link.
Yes, it makes it feel rewarding. Novelty also strengthens memory. New experiences create stronger memory tags. It sharpens focus because you can't be on autopilot. And honestly, it builds confidence when you master something new.
Okay, so how do we get more novelty without, moving to a new country every week?
No need for that. Small things work wonders. Rearrange the furniture in a room. Take a completely different route home from work or the shops. Learn one new skill. Maybe try drawing, learn 3 chords on a guitar, try a new recipe.
Simple stuff.
And use your opposite hand again. That awkward feeling is the novelty working. Even try speaking differently. Tell a story in English without using any hand gestures. That forces your language centers to work harder. Read an article or watch a show on a topic you know nothing about.
Get outside the comfort zone.
Precisely. Embracing that little bit of difficulty, like when you're stretching your English, that's prime brain-boosting territory.
Okay, novelty. Now, sleep. The thing we all know we need more of, but often sacrifice. Why is it such a superpower?
Oh, it's massive.
Yeah.
In our hyper-busy world, sleep is often the first thing to go, but it's fundamentally when your brain does its most critical maintenance and strengthening work. It resets, it repairs, it gets stronger while you sleep.
So it's not just off time for the brain.
Absolutely not. It's incredibly active. During sleep, your brain is busy consolidating memories, moving important stuff from short-term to long-term storage. It's clearing out waste products, toxins that build up during the day. It's reviewing and strengthening new skills and learning. It's literally doing essential housekeeping.
Housekeeping.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's the real damage if we consistently skimp on sleep?
The cost is really high. Poor focus, obviously.
Right.
Weaker memory, slower learning. Mood swings, irritability. But long-term, it contributes to faster brain aging. And it's linked to really serious conditions like Alzheimer's, depression, anxiety.
Wow, okay, so how much do we actually need? Is it still 8 hours?
For most adults, the sweet spot is somewhere between 7 and 9 hours per night. And importantly, the quality of sleep matters just as much, maybe even more, than the exact number of hours.
Quality. So tips for better brain sleep.
Consistency is king. Try to go to bed and wake up around the same time, even on weekends. Create a relaxing wind-down routine. Definitely avoid screens, phones, tablets, TVs for at least 30 minutes, ideally an hour before bed. That blue light messes with your sleep hormone, melatonin.
Right, the blue light.
Keep your bedroom cool, dark, and quiet. Avoid big meals or lots of liquids too close to bedtime. And remember how sleep helps learning.
Yeah, you mentioned consolidating memories.
Exactly. It helps lock in that new English vocabulary or grammar you learned. Ever struggled with a word, slept on it, and then it just clicks the next day?
Yes, that happens.
That's not an accident. Your brain was working on it overnight. So the takeaway isn't just study harder, it's also rest smarter.
Rest smarter. I like that. Wow, we have covered so much ground today. It feels like the big takeaway is it's not one magic bullet, is it?
Not at all. A healthy, youthful brain comes from lots of small, positive, consistent habits woven together. It's really a lifestyle you build day by day.
So let's try and pull it together. What might a simple daily or weekly plan look like hitting these points?
Okay, quick recap. Maybe morning, hydrate first thing, do some light movement, maybe set a simple intention for the day, and perhaps 10 minutes of English practice listening or reading.
Okay, start the day right.
Daytime. Try that single tasking focus. Take those short 2-3 minute movement breaks every hour or so. Aim for brain boosting foods at lunch. Learn one new thing in English word, a fun fact. Find a moment to connect with someone.
Keep it active and fueled.
Evening. Wind down. Limit those screens well before bed. Maybe quickly review one thing you learned in English today. Relax. Deep breathing, meditation, whatever works. Then prioritize getting those 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep.
And weekly.
Weekly. Intentionally try something new, a new recipe, a different park. Use your opposite hand for a task a couple of times. Maybe join that group or class and take 5 minutes to just reflect on what you tried and how it felt.
It sounds manageable when you break it down like that.
Right. The key principles are just consistency over trying to be perfect. Balance the activity with proper rest. Stay curious. Take care of your body. Food, movement, sleep are non-negotiable. And connect with other humans.
And for everyone listening who's learning English, remember that amazing double benefit. Combining these brain-friendly habits with your English study, it just supercharges everything.
Absolutely. It makes the language learning feel more natural, more enjoyable, and even more effective. Every new word, every chat, every grammar rule figured out, it's a direct investment in your brain's long-term health and vitality.
So keeping your brain young. See, it isn't some secret code or magic pill.
Nope. It's a lifestyle built with small, smart, meaningful choices every single day. Your brain is, without doubt, your most valuable asset. Treat it well, nurture that garden.
It really will support you for your whole life. Okay, final thought to leave everyone with.
As you go about your day today, or maybe tomorrow, think. What's one small, maybe surprising thing you're going to try just to challenge your brain a little bit and make it say, aha,